Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is chemical reaction and equation, we were talking about that how can we balance a chemical equation. And for that students, we have seen that the number of atoms present at the reactant side of each of the element must be equals to the number of atoms present at the product side. And for that, we use the suitable number to balance both the side of the elements consisting of the same number of atoms. For doing so, students, we have seen that what is the necessity of balancing a chemical equation. So you know that to fulfill the law of conservation of mass, we use to balance an equation. So I hope you all have understood that how we can balance. Now here when you balance the equation or while you're writing a chemical reaction, there are few things that is very important. Now if suppose you have written here H2 plus O2, this will give H2, that's it. So since you are knowing about that this is a hydrogen, this is the oxygen, this is the formation of a water. So how do we come to know about it? With the help of the formulas, with the help of the symbols, we are able to know. But even then, if you give this reaction to anyone, what kind of information you are getting from this reaction? Nothing. You will simply say that there is a H2 and O2 react to form H2O. But we are not knowing exactly what is the name because nothing is mentioned here. What is the state? Or in this reaction, is there any need of heat is there? Or is any change in color occur? No. So no such kind of information is written in this reaction. So while writing an equation, we should make the equation more informative. Informative, it means it should give a information. What kind of information, students? About the state, about the heat change, means the change in the heat, whether the heat is evolving or it is absorbed, as well as the conditions in which the reaction is taking place. So let us write it and see that how can we make our equation more informative. So to make an equation more informative. To make equation more informative. How can we make it, students? By indicating the physical states of the reactant and product of the reactant and products. Second one, that is by indicating heat changes. By indicating heat changes taking place in a reaction. And the third one, by indicating the condition. By indicating the conditions under which the reaction takes place. Under which the reaction takes place. Under which the reaction takes place. Okay, so we can say that these are the information that in a reaction we should mention it to make it more informative. Informative means we will understand more about that of the particular reaction, that in which state the reactant are reacting, as well as we will also understand that whether the heat is evolving or absorbing, as well as the different types of conditions that occur in this chemical reaction. Okay. So we will start with the first one, that how can we indicate the physical state of the reactant and product. So let us see that. That is, to indicate the physical state states of the reactant and product. So for that, student, if suppose we have taken a reaction in which we have taken Zn and this will react with H2SO4, then there is a formation of a zinc sulfate which is represented by ZnSO4, and a gas is evolved that is called as a hydrogen. So we are not knowing about it. So to indicate or to understand that what kind of physical state it is, let me tell you one more thing here, students, that to represent a solid state, we used to indicate it with the help of a symbol, that is S. To represent a liquid state, we used to represent it by small l. If we want to represent an aqueous solution is what? In which we have taken a salt which was in solid state and we mixes it in water. That kind of a solution is a aqueous solution. So if we want to represent an aqueous solution, we will represent it by AQ. What about the gaseous state? It is represented by small g. So these are some of the symbols that we will use to represent a physical state. Okay, now using this one we can write this equation. So you can see here, first of all we have taken the zinc granules, okay, in this reaction. So zinc granules are what? They are at the solid state. So we will write here Zn, that is in the solid state. So we will write the state just as a subscript, you can say in the bracket, which tells that it is in the state of solid, or it is at the solid state. Here sulfuric acid, it is consisting of a water. We have taken the dilute sulfuric acid. So it consisting of a water. So we will say that it is what? It is the aqueous solution. The same thing with that of a zinc sulfate. So zinc sulfate is also represented by aqueous solution. While you know that a hydrogen gas is evolved. Okay. So here hydrogen is what? It is a gas. So we can write it here ZnS plus H2SO4 aqueous, which will be ZnSO4 in the form of an aqueous solution plus H2, that is a gas. So this is what? This is the whole reaction. Now you can see that in this reaction the state is properly mentioned. You can use any of the other reaction also, students. Like, let me give you another example. If suppose we will take a calcium hydroxide, CaOH whole twice. So calcium hydroxide which is also called as lime water, that is the calcium hydroxide. This calcium hydroxide reacts with the carbon dioxide. I am not writing the name here. Then it will give calcium carbonate, CaCO3 plus water. Okay. So this is also a kind of a reaction. I am writing here that it is what? It is a calcium carbonate. Now you see here, first of all, when we look at this lime water, slake lime or the calcium hydroxide, this calcium hydroxide consisting of a water in it, so we will use the aqueous term for it. Okay, so it is at a state of a aqueous solution consisting of a water in it. When carbon dioxide is passed through it, so carbon dioxide is what? It is a gas. Okay, so we will write here that is a gas only, carbon dioxide. Now when carbon dioxide passes through the lime water, it will turns milky, and that is the formation of a calcium carbonate. Now one more thing is there, students, that calcium carbonate, okay, this calcium carbonate is basically solid one. This is a solid one, so it is represented by S. And how do we come to know that it is at a solid state? Because when the carbon dioxide passes through that of the calcium hydroxide, then there is a formation of a precipitate, and that precipitate is the calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate is none other than that of a white PPT, white precipitate. Okay, so if it is a PPT, if it is a precipitate, so that will be an insoluble product, we know that. So it is what? It is a solid one. Okay, so that's why we represent the calcium carbonate at a solid state. Then comes the H2O, which is at a liquid and represented by N. So you can see here that with the help of this, you can write here water, it doesn't matter. Okay, so with the help of this reaction, one thing is very much clear, and that is the state of each of the reactant and that of the product. Now moving on and see the next information that we get from a chemical reaction. And that is heat involved. Okay. So the heat changes in the equation. Heat changes in the equation. Okay, so basically in this one there are two types of reactions are involved, and that is endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. So how we will come to know that whether kind of a heat changes occur or whether it belongs to the endothermic or a exothermic reaction. So with the help of the heat only. If the heat is evolved, then that is an exothermic, and if the heat is absorbed, that is a endothermic reaction. So first of all, see that exothermic reaction. So So the first reaction is carbon when it reacts with that of the oxygen. Then there is a formation of a carbon dioxide and heat is liberated. Okay. So this is water. Carbon is a solid one, it is a gas one, it reacts to form gas and heat is liberated. So you can see here carbon, oxygen, carbon dioxide. So you can see here that either if heat is written at the product side or heat energy is written or simply energy is written, all these will comes in the exothermic reaction. It means that here the temperature rises up. Okay, so what kind of a change of a heat occur? So before that the temperature was less and after that the temperature increases. So this is an example of a exothermic reaction. Any other example? Yes, we can take another example of exothermic reaction, and that is methane. When methane reacts with the oxygen, methane is what? It is in the form of a gas. Oxygen is also a gas. Carbon dioxide is also a gas. Water is a liquid. So you can see here what are the different states of each of the reactant and product, and here you can see that the heat is at the product side. It means heat is evolving, so it will come into the exothermic reaction. Exo means outer, therm means heat, in which heat is coming out. Such kind of a reaction is an exothermic reaction. And when heat is coming out, obviously when heat is coming out, it will be at the product side. It means along with the product, heat is also liberated. So such kind of a reaction is an exothermic reaction. Now this reaction is in balance. So you can see here carbon is balanced here. Hydrogen is 4, hydrogen is 2 here. And oxygen is 3 here. So first of all, we will balance the hydrogen. Here hydrogen is 4, here hydrogen is 2 only. So we will add 2 so that it will become 4. Now 2 into 2, 4. Hydrogen is balanced. What about oxygen? So oxygen is 2 and here oxygen is 2. So at the product side oxygen is 4, but at the reactant side oxygen is 2 only. So we will put a 2 here. So now the oxygen is also balanced. Okay. So we have balanced the reaction and we have seen that this will comes into the exothermic reaction. Now you see. Okay. Now you see students that all the kind of a burning of the fuels that will also comes into the exothermic reaction. Because when you burn a fuel, what happened? Heat is liberated. Heat energy is evolved. Because we by burning the fuel we need energy, and this energy we will get in the form of a heat energy. So we can say that a burning of a fuel of anything, means it can be coal, it can be petrol, it can be diesel or natural gas or any of a compressed or a CNG or LPG. Whatever fuel we are taking, if we are burning it, we are actually performing an exothermic reaction in which heat energy is evolved. So we have seen here 2 reactions of an exothermic reaction in which heat is evolved. Now if we look at ourselves, you know that we also need energy. Why? To perform the various things, various metabolic activities, various activities that we used to do in our life. Okay, in our days, you can say. Okay, so you see that we need energy for work, for playing, for running, for reading also, for anything, for doing any kind of a work, we need energy. What will happen if suppose we are not having that energy? Our body will be not capable, our body will be not able to do anything, any work. And to get energy, from where we get this energy? We actually get this energy through food. Basically, when anybody asks a person that from where you get energy, he said it is from food. Is only the food is responsible? No. You know that oxygen is also very important. If no oxygen will be there, then no work and no energy we will get. So this oxygen and this food, they help in providing the energy. How they help in providing the energy? So there is a process that occurs inside our body that we all are familiar with, is the respiration process. And we know that through the respiration process only we get the sufficient amount of energy. Okay, and this energy is stored in the mitochondria in the form of ATP. And that is why we can say that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, because it helps in generating energy. You know that all the power plants, they are known as a power plant because it helps in giving the energy. Okay, so respiration is also supposed to be an exothermic reaction. And why it is known as an exothermic reaction? Because here oxygen is used to break down glucose, and along with the carbon dioxide and heat, along with the carbon dioxide and water, heat is also released or heat is also generated. So we can write it here, students, and that is C6H12O6. This is what? This is glucose, and glucose is in the state of a aqueous solution. It will react with the gas, and that is oxygen. So it will combine with the oxygen, and due to which there is a formation of a carbon dioxide, water plus heat energy, or we can say simply energy is released. This is carbon dioxide, and here it is water. Okay, now carbon dioxide in the form of a gaseous state and water is in the form of a liquid state. So all these things occur. This is a process of a respiration. Now respiration process is exothermic reaction. This question asked students that why respiration is supposed to be an exothermic reaction. You will say that it is an exothermic reaction since heat is since the energy is released. Okay, the heat energy is released. Okay, and that is why respiration is an exothermic reaction. Okay, so this is an example of a exothermic reaction. Now, any other example, student? Yes, we can take another example also, and that is magnesium rubber. We had discussed about it that magnesium rubber, when you burn it in the presence of oxygen. So we can write it here. Magnesium, when it reacts with the oxygen, then it will burn along with the heat and light. You know that it burns with a dazzling flame. So we can say that it burns along with the heat and light, and formation of a magnesium oxide occur. So this will also comes into the exothermic reaction. Okay. Now let us see some of the reactions in which heat is or the energy is not evolved, but it is absorbed so that the reaction can take place easily. Okay. Now let us see some of the examples of endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction, it means the heat is absorbed. Okay. Now the first reaction is in between that of the nitrogen and oxygen, and there is a formation of ammonia. So here what you will find that to perform this reaction, heat is required. So we used to give the nitrogen is a gas, oxygen is also a gas, and ammonia is also a gas. Okay, all these things are the, okay, just a second too. Here, instead of ammonia, because we have not used here hydrogen, but instead of that, nitrogen monoxide will be formed. Nitrogen monoxide. So in this reaction, you can see that heat energy is absorbed. Okay, so if the heat energy is absorbed, we will say that this reaction belongs to the endothermic reaction, and here heat is absorbed. Other example, student, yes. Example of photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, you see that basically when the water and that of the carbon dioxide, they used to react together, then what happened? CO2 plus H2O, then there is a need of a heat energy also in the form of a sunlight. Okay, so sunlight, that will help in providing the heat energy, which will help in forming the glucose, and oxygen is released. So carbon dioxide is the gas, liquid is the gas, glucose, we can say it is a form of an aqueous one, and oxygen is also a gas here. When we balance it, you will see that it is CO2. How did it come? Because the carbon is 6 here, so we will add here 6. Then you will find that here the hydrogen is 12, and here the hydrogen is 2 only, so we will again add here 6. So 6 into 2, that will be equals to 12. Now let us see that what is the number of oxygen here. So 6 into 2, 12 oxygen plus 6. So 18 oxygen is here. Here oxygen is only 6. So if we will add here 6, so 6 into 2, 12. And this 6 oxygen of glucose, this will also help in giving the 18 oxygen. So by this we are able to balance this particular equation. So you can see here that what is our concern? To see that whether it is absorbing heat or not. Yes, it is absorbing heat, and due to which glucose and oxygen is released. Other example is, students, decomposition reaction in which calcium carbonate get decomposed into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Decomposition. What happened here? If we will take a calcium carbonate, now the calcium carbonate breaks into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. And to carry this process, it used to absorb the heat. Calcium carbonate is in the solid state, calcium oxide is also in the solid state, carbon dioxide is in the gaseous state. Okay, so it absorbs heat, and due to which it gets converted into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So here also heat is absorbed, and due to which it will comes into the endothermic reaction. Okay, so a reaction in which heat is absorbed, that is known as the endothermic reaction. Other example, we can take the example of a water also, students. To break down the water, there is a need of electric arc and electricity, and that is, it means it also absorbs heat, and due to which it can break down into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. Now we have seen that how the heat changes in the equation occur, and how we are able to make it informative by putting the state of the particular reactant and that of the product. Now moving on and see the last one, that to indicate the conditions in the equation. The different conditions. Different conditions in the equation. When we talk about the conditions of the equation, student, what does that mean? It means we are talking about that what kind of a temperature, what kind of a pressure is there in the reaction, because you will find that these all are very important to know. When you are reacting two reactant together, there is a need of a sufficient amount of a temperature, pressure. Okay, maybe there is a need of a catalyst also, in the presence of which the reaction can only takes place. So all these factors, if we are writing in the reaction, that will make it more informative, that will make us to understand that okay, this reaction will only occur in this particular condition. Okay, so we will discuss about this at the next class, that what are the different conditions that we should use, that we should mention in the reaction to make it more informative.